Hey there, I'm Zimnoch, and in this episode, we're going to actually talk about how to respond to an offer. So this is actually something that literally happened last night, and I'm going to talk about this email I received with an offer. And the reason this is important is, not in my opinion, it's a fact, negotiating begins really from the moment I receive an offer. So in this situation, if I'm the listing agent like I am for an investor client and I receive an offer via email from an agent, that to me opens up the negotiating at that point. But before I start talking about numbers and talk to my client about how to counter and start determining all those numbers, first and foremost, the first two things that I need to focus on is what is the story of the client? What is the story of my client that I can communicate to the agent? And are there any objections that I need to handle before we even talk about the counter? So let me read you this email that I received with the offer. Hey there, please find attached the counter with loan pre-approval on this conventional loan and approval funds. Awesome. The buyer was really impressed with the home and appreciated the quality of the work completed. That's good. They like the house. It's a good start. We realize the offer is below the range. That's not good, right? Because we have a range in San Diego on this property that our client wants an offer in between a certain number, right? So she's telling us here that they are coming in below what my client wants. That's not good. But my client is a first-time buyer and funds are limited. Ooh, he is obtaining down payment funds from both parents. Girl, a gift letter attached. To make this work, and I am providing a buyer credit to help with closing costs. Sounds very genuine, right? So then she allows me to call the lender to confirm the status of the client. And lastly, it says, hopefully since the home has been on the market for over a month with no offers, the investors will consider our offer, especially since they received such a great deal on the purchase price. Please confirm receipt. So everything she's saying is based on her information is true, right? However, first thing I noticed in here is that there were things that she's saying that I know are not true, but she doesn't know this yet. So I'm going to have to handle that. So what I do in this situation, I call this agent and be like, hey, agent. And I say, thank you for submitting the offer, right? I see here that this is a first-time home buyer, but can you just tell me more about them? I understand that they're having some limited funds and they're getting gift money. So I just kind of reiterate what they told me, and that's what I did here. But in most cases, they don't go this deep, right, into the client. So I would have to dig and get that information, the story of their client, over the phone, right? I want to know that. I want to know all the things she put in this email. I actually want to know this. So this is great information that she's being proactive, but I want to see and ask even more questions. I want to say, so tell me, what made them really love this house? What made them write this offer up? Right? I want to know the why and go deeper, because that will allow me later to maybe anchor back to the why and remind her own client even sometimes of why they even submitted the offer to begin with. So understanding the story of the client, which she explained pretty well, but then more importantly also understanding the why of why they love this house, right? And sometimes it's not just the house. They might say, well, my aunt lives 3 houses down. Oh, and my office is 2 blocks away. You never know what the why will be, but then you can use that later in your negotiating. So that's number one. Second thing, if you heard, was the things that she mentioned here was that the home has been on the market for over a month with no offers. Well, it might look like that's the case when she looks on the MLS, but the truth is actually that we've had 2 offers. We've actually opened escrow on this property already once, canceled escrow because we didn't like what they were asking for, opened escrow again with another offer, and they both were very, very strong offers, way above where they're coming in at. Well, guess what? I needed to educate her on this, right? So first and foremost, I was like, look, let me tell you about my client, right? So not only did I find out about their client, but I now also educated her about my client. My client is an investor, yes, but however, we've had offers. We've actually had 2 offers, and here's how it all played out. And here's the range where those offers came in, right? So I explained to her what my client has experienced to this day, and it's not what she thinks, that it's been just sitting on the market for 30 days and there was no offers and now they're desperate. They're not feeling that. My clients are not feeling that, so I need to tell her that because she doesn't know this yet, right? She's just looking at what she has online. And then another thing she mentioned, that especially since they received such a great deal on the purchase price. Well, it might look that way because if you take the purchase price and you look at where they're listing it, the difference might be quite a bit, but she doesn't know the numbers of how much they put into the rehab. What are the holding costs on the money? All the things that investors have to go through. So I needed to educate her. Well, let me tell you, they did buy it for X. However, they have this much in rehab. They have this much holding costs. They had to pay an agent. Now they have to resell it. At the end of the day, if they make somewhere between 25 to 30 on this property, that's really what they're shooting for. And guess what? There's 3 partners. They have to split it 3 ways in this situation. So I actually told her the truth, because in this situation, the more facts I was going to be able to give her about my client, it actually was helping me to kind of level out the playing field and remove that objection and off the table, right? So let me recap real quick. So your first call is to get the story of the client that submitted the offer and share your story of your client, where they're at, right? Second, you want to handle any objection that they might have, because again, that's how they came up with their offer amount, with their objections in mind. So if I can handle those objections and then come back with a counter, it will feel much better for the other side to accept it and actually maybe come to an agreement that makes sense for both parties. And that's how you create a win-win. Analyzing a property before you buy it is obviously very important. However, what I find that most people just do it wrong. And I know that alone, one mistake could cost you tens and thousands of dollars. It could literally cost you your business. And I don't want that to happen to you. So I created a step-by-step property analysis guide sheet to walk you through exactly what to look for to make sure your deal that you're looking at is worth buying. To get the property analysis guide sheet, just go to randyzimnoch.com.